In the last video of my RTS mod series, I got the stays for the swing arm cut, mitered, and set up in the jig. The next step is to get everything clean and start brazing it all together. It's important to get all the surfaces down to clean, shiny metal, both inside and out. Then everything gets wiped down with isopropyl alcohol, covered in flux, and it's ready for brazing. My frame fixture is pretty flexy to begin with, and the added fixturing for the swing arm is even more so. So I wasn't too sure how this would turn out. But it's probably been 20 years since this bike has gotten any use, and I can always switch back to the old swing arm if I want. I fully tinned the stays to the dropouts, but I only tacked the tab ends because as I was brazing, I realized I forgot to drill vent holes in the stays. After I was done brazing, I should have just quickly drilled some vent holes and finished brazing. Instead, I made the mistake of soaking off the flux, which meant a lot of cleanup before I could do the rest of the brazing. I've been working on this project pretty sporadically, and it's fairly different from one of my normal frame builds, so I guess it's understandable that things didn't go as smoothly as expected. Luckily, it just meant some extra work. At this point, I was able to bolt on the two halves of the swing arm and check tire clearance. I also threw in a 700C wheel with a 42mm tire just to see how it looked. On the outside of the tabs, I tried something new. I've capped the ends of stays before, but I've never used a section of tube to create a curved transition from the stay to the tab. On the inside, I just filled the gap with bronze. The caps were more work than they were worth, and I should have saved myself some time by just filling both sides of the tabs with bronze. I added a support down by the dropout to help with the disc brake forces, but I don't know how much the stays flex in this design, so I added supports to both sides just so any flex will be equal between the two sides of the swing arm. After the supports were in, I checked the alignment so that I could add the seat stay and chainstay bridges. I was genuinely surprised at how well it came out. Definitely close enough for me. Once the bridges go in, the two sides of the swing arm will be locked in place, so I want to make sure everything's aligned. The last brazing to do is adding the cable guides. Normally I prefer guides that don't use zip ties, but I had a bunch of these stainless ones and they're quick and easy. I'll probably paint it black like the original swing arm someday, but for the time being I like the look of the patina, and it is a lot quicker than painting. I clean everything to bare shiny metal and wipe it down with denatured alcohol, just like I would do if I was painting, but then basically all I have to do is slather on the patina solution, wipe it down with a soaking wet rag, and it's good to go. Once it's all built up, I'll wipe it down with some Gibbs lubricant to prevent rusting. So here's the completed swing arm, and here's the bike all built up. It's currently built up as a single speed, but I'll probably raid the parts bin at some point for some gears. Again, this thing is from 1993, the early days of mountain bike suspension design. The reason the RTS was popular back then was that it used pedal forces to extend the shock, essentially locking out the suspension while you are pedaling hard. It works best when it's set up with zero sag. This means once you're coasting, though, the suspension becomes active. It feels kind of weird, but it's pretty fun. And that's it for this little side project. If you're enjoying this channel, consider a super thanks. And if you haven't watched my other videos, go check them out. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time.